So how did you get started working with brands? Like, what made you go that way?
I think you are the sum of people you know. And the more people that's why it's imperative to go to events because they bring new things to light that you would never even connect the dots in otherwise. I was 19 years old where I worked on a campaign with State Farm and Urban League, National Urban League, as well as the Chicago Urban League, driving emphasis on don't text and drive campaign. Now, I'm 19 years old. I didn't even process the significance of what this impact would be. Actually, driving, I think, over 200,000 signups of new drivers or soon to be drivers saying they won't text and drive pledge. And obviously, that impacts insurance, all those things. And then you go back and you talk and you tell people, hey, I worked with these brands. And you start listing these brands. You're like, you at 19 years old did something like that? And again, I didn't think much of it then until much later. I was telling a story about, how to get started in marketing, how to stuff. And the person stopped me and said, wait, wait, wait. Write down every brand you've ever was affiliated with, that you ever had a hand in any type of way. And I took the time and I wrote it down and I'm like, okay, I did that one. I did that one. I did that one. And lo and behold, I'm like, wait a minute here. I see some patterns here. And they said, this is how you get ahead. And that's why I go to different schools and different events. And I tell them, if you get the honor and privilege, whether it's free or not, to work with some people to do something, you had a hand in it, you get credit for it. So start learning how to position yourself in that way. So without me knowing, since I was 19, I was working with some brands. And when I finished college and came back to the loop, that's when I realized, oh, I could do these things. And so a lot of my early access to bigger brands was through nonprofits. They were already always connected with different groups, driving new initiatives. So I'm getting firsthand. There's a video on YouTube right now. I cringe at it. There's a YouTube video of me, the 22-year-old me, interviewing state representatives, CEOs of companies, talking about sustainability and environmental friendliness. B Corp for B Corp was really a thing for most brands. And I had a front seat. And people were not afraid to talk to me. You got this 20-year-old black boy with a little mic and a little camera here. And they got press. And like, oh, you don't seem intimidating. And I'm just asking honest questions. How did you get here? Do you still love what you're doing? Can you tell me how you even got into this business? Like, I'm like, how do you get into these roles? Like, did you wake up one day and you're still going to be a congressman? You're going to be a CEO of a tech company? And, it's a funny story. It's a funny segue, but I always find it's those little increment moments way back when that's going to like be the ripple effect to what you're going to become or what ideas you're going to bring from in the future. And so events, that's where I got my start and where I was exposed to many things. So if you are hesitant to try virtual events, it doesn't cost you money, typically. If anything, it's very minimal. But two, you get a one-on-one experience, especially in the post conversations. You learn how to network. And whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you kind of get an ease into it. You get a set time limit to be a part of it, and then you can take a break. You got to drink some water and just reset. You're not stuck. So I just say, go do events. You never know.